All right, welcome back. You are with the Orange Ball on a Friday. It is February 13th, 2026.
All-Star Weekend is staring us right in the face.
It is. The trade deadline dust has, for the most part, it's settled. And this is usually the time of year when the whole league just kind of takes a breath.
Yeah, everyone's booking their trip to Cabo. They're checking out. It's supposed to be dead air.
Exactly. But the NBA apparently decided to pack about, I don't know, a month's worth of drama and history into the last 24 hours.
Last night was different. I mean, we had a 41-year-old making history in a way that just shouldn't be possible.
It defies biology.
It does. And then we had an owner going to war with an ESPN expert on social media over tanking fines.
A full-on war. So we have a packed show. We're going to start there, with the Lakers making a huge statement against the new-look Mavericks. And we have to talk about LeBron James.
We have to.
I don't just want to talk about the box score. I want to know how he is still doing this.
Right. We keep saying Father Time is undefeated, but I think LeBron just took Father Time into the post and dunked on him.
And then stared him down. We're also going to get into the Bucks absolutely stunning the defending champion Thunder.
In what was supposed to be a total throwaway game, a scheduled loss.
For sure. And then, yes, the drama in Utah. The Jazz get hit with a $500,000 fine, and the owner, Ryan Smith, he just wasn't having it.
No. He was not. And it got personal, and it raises these huge questions about, what are the unspoken rules of this league?
And finally, we'll get you ready for All-Star Weekend in LA. The new 3-team format. Is anyone actually going to try on Sunday?
I think there's one team that's definitely going to try. Maybe a little too hard.
I think I know where you're going with that. But okay, let's start at Crypto.com Arena. Last night, Lakers versus Mavericks.
Big one.
The final score was Lakers 124, Mavs 104. But like you said, the score doesn't tell the whole story.
No, the story is LeBron James.
At age 41 years and 44 days old.
To be exact.
He goes out there, 28 points, 10 rebounds, 12 assists. Oldest player in NBA history with a triple-double.
And it wasn't an empty calorie stat line either. He was efficient. 10 of 20 from the field. He controlled the entire game.
We keep waiting for the drop-off, And then I hear Jason Kidd say post-game that LeBron is leading the league in fast break points. How? How is he controlling games like this against a retooled Dallas team?
Well, it's all about efficient velocity. That's the key difference.
Okay, what do you mean by that? Efficient velocity?
He's not sprinting 94 feet every single possession like he did, back in his Miami days. He's mastered this kind of burst and coast method.
Right.
He picks his spots. You remember that sequence in the third quarter? The fadeaway bank shot over P.J. Washington?
Oh, yeah, the one that just, sucked all the air out of the building.
That's the one.
Yeah.
But look at how he set it up. He didn't waste energy with a bunch of dribbles. He used a Jackson Hayes screen, forced the switch, and then it was one hard dribble to his spot. It's all economy of motion.
So he's treating his stamina bar like it's a video game. He knows exactly how much he has left.
Exactly. And honestly, Dallas helped him. Their defensive communication was non-existent. They were playing drop coverage against a guy shooting almost 40% from three.
That's baffling.
It's insane. When LeBron sees that confusion, he doesn't need to be faster than you. He just needs to be smarter. He's processing the game 3 steps ahead of everyone else.
So it's not physical speed, it's mental speed. He's getting to the spot before they even realize where the spot is.
That's it. He's playing chess. Meanwhile, you've got Klay Thompson and Chris Middleton out there trying to figure out the rules of checkers in this new system.
Which brings up the fast break points thing again. How is a 41-year-old leading the league in that category? That just sounds made up.
Because he's leaking out. He's releasing early. He trusts his bigs to get the rebound. There's a play in the first. He sees the shot go up, sees Jackson Hayes has position, and he's gone.
He's just gone.
Gets the outlet pass, finds Hayes for the alley-oop. Then a few possessions later, he's pulling up for transition 3. He is literally and figuratively cherry-picking his spots to control the pace of the entire game.
And you mentioned Jackson Hayes. I want to talk about him because this didn't feel like the typical LeBron has to do everything game.
No, not at all. The supporting cast was fantastic.
I mean, they were more than supporting. Hayes was a difference maker.
You have to give him his flowers. 16 points, 7 boards, 3 steals, and a block. But the number that matters.
The plus-minus.
The plus-minus. He was a plus 26 in 33 minutes.
A plus 26 and a 20-point win. I mean, that means he was the reason they blew the game open.
It's game-changing. And it wasn't just catching lobs from LeBron. He was in the passing lanes. He was hedging on screens. And then you add Rui Hachimura dropping 21 on, 9 of 13 shooting.
Super efficient.
When Rui is hitting that mid-range jumper, It changes the entire geometry of the floor for the Lakers.
Yeah.
You can't just send a double team at LeBron anymore.
And that really showed up in the third quarter. They were actually trailing early, right? Down 5 after the first.
So 36-31. It looked like Dallas might be able to hang.
But then halftime happens, and they come out and hold Dallas to just 19 points in the third. What was the tactical shift?
They just stopped playing their base defense. In the first half, they were trying to fight over screens, and Dallas was getting decent looks. In the third, the coaching staff, or maybe LeBron, just said, forget it. We're switching everything 1 through 4.
And Dallas had no answer.
They had nothing. It completely bogged them down. They devolved into iso ball, and that brings us to the Mavericks side of this.
Yeah, let's talk about them, because this roster it's just weird.
It's a Frankenstein's monster of a team right now.
Luka, obviously, he was out. But you've got Chris Middleton coming off the bench for 8 points on 3 of 11 shooting. Klay Thompson off the bench for 9. I mean, what is this?
It's a team with zero chemistry. You can see it. We know from the trade logs that the Anthony Davis experiment in Dallas is over. He got moved to Washington.
Right, so that's a huge pivot post-deadline.
And now they've brought in these guys, Middleton and Klay, who are rhythm players. They need to know where and when their shots are coming.
They need an offensive system.
And without Luka there to be the puppet master, to orchestrate everything, they just look lost. There's no pecking order.
So is this just a case of new guys need time, or did the Lakers expose something deeper, like a real flaw in the roster construction?
I think it's deeper. I mean, who's the connective tissue on that team? Who does the dirty work?
That's a great question.
P.J. Washington tries, but he's not enough. Klay and Middleton aren't the defenders they used to be. So when the Lakers decided to actually turn up the defensive pressure, Dallas just folded. They had no identity to fall back on.
Meanwhile, the Lakers know exactly who they are.
100%. They're LeBron's team. Everyone else finds their role around him, and that clarity matters so much, especially right before the All-Star break.
It really does. Okay, speaking of teams with clarity, let's go to the other big game. Milwaukee Bucks at the Oklahoma City Thunder.
The Hospital Bowl. That's what everyone was calling it.
For a good reason. No Giannis for the Bucks. That's his 9th straight game out with the calf. And for the Thunder, no Shai, no Jalen Williams.
Yeah, on paper, this is a game you just skip. You assume it's a schedule loss for Milwaukee, and you don't even watch the tape.
But the Bucks go into OKC and just dominate, 110-93. And it wasn't even that close.
No, they controlled it from the beginning. And the big story here, it isn't just that Milwaukee won without Giannis. It's who led them to the win.
Ousmane Dieng.
The revenge game. You couldn't write a better script.
He was just traded from OKC to Milwaukee at the deadline. He goes back into his old gym.
Probably still knows the code to the back door.
And drops 19 points, 11 rebounds, 6 assists, and 4 blocks against the team that just gave up on him.
I mean, that stat line is insane. 19, 11, 6, and 4 blocks. That is everything the Bucks have been searching for the last 3 years.
That long, athletic wing defender.
Exactly. The guy who could do a little bit of everything. They tried to find him in the draft. They tried in free agency. And it turns out he was just sitting on the end of OKC's bench. He was so efficient, too. 7 of 12 shooting.
So what did he change for them tactically? How did one guy make that much of a difference?
He changes their entire defensive geometry.
Yeah.
Usually when Giannis sits, they have nobody to protect the rim or switch on to smaller guys. Dieng did both last night. He was guarding Chet Holmgren on one possession and then switching on to a guard the next.
That's incredible versatility.
It is. And on offense, because he can handle the ball a bit, they moved it beautifully. They had 7 guys in double figures.
7 guys. That's real team basketball.
A.J. Green went off for 27. When they move the ball like that, they're not just this, Giannis drives and kicks team. They look dangerous and unpredictable.
And what about OKC? Without SGA and J-Dub, they just looked lost.
They had no engine. Isaiah Joe had 17, but they just couldn't create any consistent offense.
Yeah.
It shows you just how much that system relies on Shai to collapse a defense. Without him, it's just a lot of passing around the perimeter with no real threat.
But even in a blowout, there was a really special moment in that game that was, bigger than basketball.
Yeah, for me, this is the moment of the night. Easy.
We have to talk about the debut of Nikola Topic.
What a story.
For anyone who doesn't know, he was the 12th pick back in 2024. Missed his entire rookie season with a bad knee injury.
And then, as if that's not enough, he gets diagnosed with testicular cancer before this season started.
Just an unbelievably tough road for a 20-year-old kid.
To go through a career-threatening injury is one thing. To go through a life-threatening illness is a whole other level.
And last night, he finally made his debut, played 12 minutes, scored 2 points. But the standing ovation he got when he checked in.
Chills. You could feel it through the TV. The Bucks players were clapping for him. It's just a great reminder that At the end of the day, these are human beings going through real-life stuff.
100%. To fight back from all of that and get on an NBA court, that's a win, no matter what the final score says.
It's a huge victory.
So looking at the Bucks, though, a final thought on them. Does this performance, does Yang's emergence change how we should view them coming out of the break?
I think it raises their ceiling. If this version of Ousmane Dieng is real, if he can be this versatile defender who gives you 15 and 8 consistently,
Then what?
then Milwaukee just got a whole lot scarier. Because you put him on the floor when Giannis comes back, and suddenly you have a level of length and athleticism they just didn't possess 2 weeks ago, they might have quietly won the trade deadline.
That's a scary thought for the rest of the East. Okay. Speaking of scary thoughts and things getting ugly,
Let's get into the drama.
we have to shift gears. Because while the games were great, the off-court stuff was even wilder.
Let's do it. Time for some hot takes and controversies.
So, the league office brought the hammer down yesterday.
A big one.
The Utah Jazz fined $500,000. The Indiana Pacers fined $100,000. The official reason, conduct detrimental to the league.
Which is just the NBA's fancy way of saying you were tanking and you weren't subtle about it.
Exactly. The league specifically pointed to the Jazz pulling Lauri Markkanen and Jaren Jackson Jr., who's on the Jazz now, which is still wild.
Still feels wrong to say.
Right. Pulling them in the fourth quarter of winnable games against Orlando and Miami.
And the league's wording was key. They said the players were otherwise able to continue to play. They're basically saying, we have the data, we know you were shutting them down for no good reason.
Okay, but this is the real story. The fine is one thing. The reaction from Jazz owner Ryan Smith, he just lost it on social media.
He went nuclear.
Yeah.
And I got to say, my take is he's completely out of line, but he's also kind of right about the hypocrisy of it all.
So let's unpack that. His main argument on X was, essentially, we won the game in Miami. He tweeted, agreed to disagree. Also, we won the game in Miami and got fined. Then it makes sense.
Which is such a disingenuous argument. It's pure gaslighting.
Is it? Or is he pointing out that the league is punishing intent instead of the actual outcome?
It is absolutely punishing intent, and they have to. Just because your bench guys played their hearts out and pulled off an upset doesn't mean the front office wasn't actively trying to lose that game.
Right.
When you pull your 2 all-stars in a one-possession game with a few minutes left, that is a deliberate attempt to lose. Smith is just mad he got caught with his hand in the cookie jar.
And then it got even more personal when ESPN's Bobby Marks weighed in.
Yeah, Marks tweeted that these fines are basically just a luxury tax for tanking, which is true.
But Smith did not like that. He replied directly to Marks, quote, "Hey, Bobby, maybe sit this one out. You have no clue what paying this is like, and your amnesia this week is comical."
Oof. Sit this one out. That is a billionaire telling a media member to stay in his lane. It's ugly.
What's the amnesia part about? What do you think he's referencing there?
I think he's talking about the media in general. One week, everyone on ESPN is yelling about how teams stuck in the middle should blow it up, trade their stars, and rebuild through the draft.
The purgatory of mediocrity.
Exactly. So Smith does what all the smart people say he should do. He commits to the rebuild. And then the second he does it, those same people yell about the integrity of the game. He feels like they have amnesia about their own advice.
That's actually a really fair point. But then you have this other layer, the Jaren Jackson Jr. injury news.
Right, the convenient timing of that.
After the fine is announced, news breaks that JJJ has a benign knee growth and needs surgery. So does that get the Jazz off the hook? Were they just managing a medical issue?
It complicates the PR, but it doesn't change the logic. If his knee was really that bad, why was he playing the first 3.5 quarters of the game?
That's the question, isn't it?
You can't have it both ways. You can't showcase him for 30 minutes and then suddenly claim he's too hurt to play when the game is on the line. The usage pattern just screams that they were trying to lose.
It's such a mess. And with the Pacers getting fined, too, for resting guys like Siakam, it's obvious the league is trying to send a message.
But the message isn't strong enough. As long as the potential prize for losing is a franchise changer, teams are going to keep pushing these boundaries.
Well, while the owners are fighting with reporters, the players are fighting with each other.
Literally. From Twitter beef to actual punches.
The Pistons-Hornets game had a brawl. 4 players ended up getting suspended. But the big one is Isaiah Stewart.
Of course it is.
He got the heaviest suspension, which isn't a surprise given his history. But why does this one feel different?
Because the Pistons are actually good now. This is the crazy part of the 2026 season.
They're at the top of the Eastern Conference standings, which is just wild to even say out loud.
Right. So this isn't the bad boys era where a fight is just part of the brand. This is a team with the #1 seed in their sights. You can't afford to lose your starting center and defensive anchor for a multi-game suspension.
It's just a total lack of discipline.
A huge lack. It could legitimately cost them home court advantage in a playoff series. You just can't be getting into brawls with the Charlotte Hornets in February when you have bigger goals.
So the NBA in a nutshell. Owners fighting online, players fighting in the paint. The drama never, ever stops.
It keeps us employed, I guess.
True. Okay, let's pivot from all that ugliness to something that's supposed to be a celebration of the game.
Supposed to be.
We are heading into All-Star Weekend. It's time for What's Next?
Let's get into it. The scene shifts to LA.
It all kicks off tonight, Friday, with the Rising Stars Challenge. But there's a huge name missing.
A massive absence. The guy everyone was tuning in to see.
Cooper Flagg. The Mavericks rookie is OUT with a left midfoot sprain. Does this just completely kill the buzz for the event tonight?
It definitely hurts. I mean, he was the marquee attraction. He's the guy who sells the tickets, the guy who moves the needle.
The teams were maybe, managing rosters for last season.
Allegedly. But look, it's a blow, but there's still some guys to watch. You've got Conropel, who can just fill it up. VJ Edgecombe is an athlete who will try to tear the rim down.
And maybe somebody tries to make a name for themselves now that the spotlight is available.
That's the hope. It's usually just a glorified layup line. But maybe one of these young guys sees an opportunity and actually plays some defense. We can dream, right?
We can dream. But the real experiment is Sunday, the main event, the All-Star Game.
The format change.
They've scrapped East versus West. They've scrapped the captain's draft. It is a completely new 3-team tournament format.
Yeah, this is interesting.
So you've got 3 teams. Team USA Stars, coached by J.D. Bickerstaff. Then Team USA Stripes, which has LeBron and Steph on it.
The old guard.
And finally, Team World, led by guys like Giannis and Luka. They play round-robin, 12-minute quarters, and the top 2 go to a championship game. My question is, does this work? And who wins?
I actually think this format might be the thing that saves the All-Star game. And it's for one reason. National pride.
You really think that Team World angle is going to make them care more?
I think it's night and day. Look at Team USA Stripes. It's LeBron and Steph. They're legends, they're friends. For them, this weekend is about business, networking, and most importantly, not getting hurt.
Right. It's an obligation.
But then you look at Team World. You have Victor Wembanyama. You have Nikola Jokic. These guys grew up in a system where there's no such thing as an exhibition game. You play to win.
I saw that quote from Wembanyama where he said he never even steps into a board game at home without caring about winning.
That's the mentality. He doesn't know how to turn it off. He probably creates a game of Monopoly like it's Game 7. If he brings that energy and Jokic is throwing those absurd full-court passes, I think Team World is going to crush the Americans.
Wow, crush them. That's a strong take.
I really think so. The whole Stars versus Stripes thing, it just feels like a marketing gimmick. It sounds like a new shoe colorway. But Team World feels real. It feels like they'll have something to prove.
So you think the American players will just kind of let it happen?
I think they might be too busy trying to throw flashy lobs to each other to notice they're down by 20. I think the world team actually plays defense.
Well, if we get even a few minutes of Wembanyama trying to lock down LeBron, I'll call the new format a success.
That's all we're asking for.
And speaking of LeBron, he's playing in his home arena in L.A. He said last night he's just trying to figure out how to get some rest.
Yeah, the man is 41 years old. The last thing he wants to do is play in a round-robin tournament on his weekend off.
So what do we expect from him? Is he going to actually try, or is he just going to stand at half court and orchestrate?
I think he'll try for the minutes he's out there, mostly because he loves playing with Steph. They have that chemistry. But heavy minutes, no way.
The wild card is De'Aaron Fox being added as an injury replacement for Giannis.
Yeah, Fox is pure speed.
Yeah.
And in an all-star game with no defense, speed can take over. He might make Team USA a little more interesting.
But at the end of the day, you're still betting on Team World.
I'm taking Team World, and I'm taking Wembanyama for MVP.
I think he sees this as his official coronation, his moment to take the torch as the future face of the league.
I love that pick. If Wemby comes out and treats this like it's a board game against his brothers, we are all in for a treat.
It might finally be a good game again.
All right, that is going to do it for us on this deep dive. We hit on everything. LeBron defying the laws of physics.
The Jazz defying the league office.
And Team World preparing for a global takeover of All-Star Weekend. It's been a busy 24 hours.
You kidding?
We're going to make the weekend off. We hope you enjoy the break, enjoy the festivities, watch the dunks.
And please, somebody make a dunk on the first try this year.
Please. And we will see you on the other side of the break. And hey, if you see Ryan Smith tweeting during the dunk contest, I'm taking the over on the fines.
Absolutely taking the over. Thanks for listening to The Orange Ball. We'll talk to you next week.